Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the Ascension Parish Council Finance Committee to order. I would like you all to please rise. Councilwoman Fontenot will lead us in an invocation, after which we'll all recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we do come to you tonight with a humble spirit. This week we laid to rest a hero who has come back to our soil to be rested here. We thank you for his service that he has given to his country, because he's given it all. We pray right now for his mother and father and his family members as they grieve. We ask a special blessing and a special peace to comfort them. Father, as always, we pray for all those who are in harm's way, who serve this country and serve it with dignity and integrity. We thank you for those soldiers, Father, both men and women. We ask you to end the war in Iraq soon, to restore peace and democracy to that country, and to send our sons and daughters home safely. And we do all these things and ask all these things, Lord, as always, in your Son's name, Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Ms. Suzanne, let's the record show, please, that Mr. Shake Snyder is not with us, Mr. Byriger is not with us, and Mr. Hillensbeck. Everybody else is present.
Mr. McConnell, just a note on Mr. Barriger. Mr. Shake Snyder called me a little while and said he was just not going to be able to make it from Grand Isle, but Mr. Barriger had a 7-year-old cousin that died of leukemia down in Patterson. He's attending that funeral down there, and funeral's tomorrow, the funeral tonight. So I don't remember the name, otherwise I had Miss Cheryl mention that, but just remember that part of the world that exists when small children die with diseases. And she was being treated at St. Jude, but that's where he's at.
Thank you, Mr. Valentine, and it's a sad occasion for us, and we do regret that. And please extend the condolences to the entire family from the Ascension Parish. I think the council will concur with me on that. Item number 4 is our public comment period, and as always, we welcome the members of the public here tonight, and we encourage you, if you have something you want to say or speak upon that's an agenda item tonight. Ms. Suzanne Patterson, our secretary, has sign-in cards and if you'd like to speak on any one of those, please sign in with her, and we'll deal with that when the item comes up. Okay? Item number 5, then, is the Lamar Dixon report, and I see Mr. Eddie Crawford in the audience. How, Mr. Eddie Crawford?
Good evening, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, you have before you our monthly report. This is back in October. As you know, the last council meeting when we met, we kind of gave a year-end projection of what was going on in October. It didn't look very well. Came out a lot better than we had hoped with the information going into October. As you look through that first half of page 1, where it says total income, we actually took in $57,078. We had budgeted $124,980. That's $68,786. That basically was a result of not being able to have the Cajun Country Jamboree like we had talked about. There was also another event that contributed to us not reaching our number this year. That was for this month, I'm sorry. That was the RV Expo that we had hoped to have. Both of those were impacted by the storms. As you look further down through that first half of that page in the highlights, the other operating income is really stepped up for us. $43,046.8 versus $9,766 for a positive variance of $33,702. That's basically was the big story for October for us. We kept the indirect expenses down. If you look down to that second to last item on the half page, $11,000 variance. For a combined net income loss, we had actually had $9,397,000. The budget was $13,413. So actually we came up with $22,810 off of what we had projected. Tough month, but not as bad as we'd anticipated with those two events being canceled pretty much because of the storm. That second half of this page and the second page 2 are details regarding that first half of the page, just in direct event income. We had some, if you look at the second item, consumer shows, not what we had budgeted for. That was the RV Expo, things like that. Again, as we pass down through these are just the details of that first half of the page. So as we move on, the year end at this date for October, on page 3, we are behind our projected loss by $144,000. Any questions to this point? Let's see. We move on to the page 4. This is the page where we actually put on the parish's expenses with us. If you look down at that number, still looking at about $787,024 for the year end actual. Accounts receivable. I'm sorry. We've negotiated a deal with a firm that will buy out that Entergy bill. We've been carrying that for a long time. It looks like we're going to get about 75 cents on the dollar. So we're going to go ahead. It's our recommendation to go ahead and move and accept that, and go ahead and get that taken care of. That's about 56% of that accounts receivable number you see on page 6. Some of the other figures there we're obviously working on. We have about 18% of that accounts receivable number is 30 days out. So we're certainly making the efforts in there to make sure we're collecting everything that's owed us. Let's see, page 7 gives you the year-to-date summaries, all that information there, grand totals. Let's see, the attendance numbers where we're meeting those, the actual event days, number of event days we've beat. The year end is the big picture for us right now. We've got to try to get that number down. It's going to be tough to do with just this little bit amount of time going, but that's where we stand. Good things coming around for 2007. We continue to build that calendar. I just came out of a meeting with the bicentennial folks. They're very organized moving forward. I think they've collected about 60% of the monies that they had hoped to collect. So things are really moving forward with that event. We are just in this past December, we're working with 17 different folks now to bring on events for 2007. So last year, if you recall, we finished the year with 352 event days. I really think that we'll be able to get that to 380, 390 for 2007. Of course, we're trying to get that big hallmark event that we've been talking about in the last couple of meetings. So that's kind of where we're at with the meeting that we had last month. The year-end projections, we're trimming expenses, keeping those things down. We hope to be about $50,000 to $70,000 better than what we had talked about last month, but it's still going to be, the 06 year was pretty tough. 07 is looking very good. Mr. Sawal, you had asked at the last meeting about the number of livestock events we had. 21 livestock events for 66 event days. 5 of those were livestock type events. The livestock shows, Ascension Parish, South Central Livestock Show, and 2 bull sales. The rest were equine and rodeo type events. So I don't know if that was from last month.
That's what I was looking for.
Okay. Any questions?
Does anyone, Mr. Savoy?
Yeah, on the last page, Eddie.
Yes, sir.
You got, as far as event category, the
Yes,
first one, assembly. What exactly is that?
That is if we have church groups. The first year we had a group from Arkansas come in and do a conference with us, things like that.
Okay. I just didn't know what exactly that meant.
Usually they're closed to the public. It's a private group type of thing. Church groups, things like that.
Does anyone else have any questions for Mr. Crawford about this report? Then thank you, Eddie. Thank you for being here with us. We have item number 6. It's a request for annual funding for the South Central District Livestock Show held at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. The name here is Mike Hebert, County Agent for Lafourche Parish. I also see Mr. Nunez here with us, so welcome to you.
I just wanted to take the opportunity to introduce Mike Hebert so he can tell you a little bit about the South Central Show, but also to tell you that this is money that's already in the county agent budget for Ascension Parish, and we're just asking that you authorize the use of that money again for support of the South Central District Show. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Mike Hebert, my colleague from Lafourche Parish, who manages the show here at Lamar-Dixon.
First of all, I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to appear before you. I'm the manager of the South Central District Livestock Show that we've been holding at Lamar-Dixon for going on our 6th year, and we appreciate all of the past support that the Ascension Parish Council has given to us financially and otherwise, and I'm here to ask for that again today. We're expecting, because I'm getting the figures in right now, we're expecting approximately 400 exhibitors, which represent about 200 families that will be coming to Gonzales for February the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We show approximately 700 animals at this livestock show, and like I said, they stay for about 3 days, occupy the hotels, and spend their money in Ascension Parish. And everything has been good for us and to us, and hopefully that fortune will continue. But this year's show is scheduled. It will, it's all done except actually holding it. So I want to invite all of you, if you have the opportunity, to come to Lamar-Dixon anytime on the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd of February to see the livestock show.
Mr. Dempsey Lambert, you didn't raise your hand, but I'm going to call on you anyway.
I'm going to offer that as a motion that we accept the offer for the funding for the South Central District Livestock Show.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Dempsey Lambert, second by Mr. Todd Lambert, to once again help to fund this show. What's the dollar amount, please?
$10,000.
$10,000, and it is a budgeted item. Is there any more discussion? Is there any opposition? Then the motion passes. Ms. Suzanne, would you please put that on the agenda for the next council meeting? Thank you, gentlemen, very much for being here. We appreciate that. We appreciate everything that you do and bringing this great event to Ascension Parish.
Well,
it's really a feather in our cap, and it brings a lot of attention to us.
Well, I appreciate it also. Hopefully we can continue this relationship here.
And go home and tell all the folks about all the fine treatment you got in Ascension Parish.
Everybody's
Lamar
aware
Dixon
of
Expo
it.
Center.
We have a district board meeting next week, and they're all very appreciative. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item number 7 is a contract between Attorney Troy Humphrey and the Parish of Ascension for adjudicated property. And Mr. Richard Throckmorton is in the audience. He has been helping us put this together. We've been looking at this for about a year now. I think it has passed through strategic planning. It's gone all over, and we've discussed it. Mr. Richard Throckmorton, you ready to make your presentation, sir?
Good to be here with you. Hopefully we can get this started and done tonight, but I thought in your package you may see we have Troy Humphrey. He's going to charge us $1,500 a month to come down here and start this adjudicated property for us. And basically, if you look at the handout, it will tell you some of his objectives. He also has his resume here, but it has his objectives over here, his scope of service, and what he'd be doing for us. He'd be preparing an auction for us and make sure that we do everything right in Ascension Parish for these properties. And I'm just come here tonight to present this to you, so y'all can, hopefully we can get this through the council next Thursday.
Thank you, Richard. And I just want to remind the committee that this is something that's been discussed several times at the strategic planning, but because it is a contract and it does have a payment involved, it's necessary to go through the Finance Committee. So the Chair will entertain a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Motion by Mr. Todd Lambert to adopt this contract. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Adrian Thompson. Is there any discussion? Does anybody have any questions? Mr. Valentine.
Has our attorney had a chance to look at it? Attorney over attorney?
O'Neill has looked at it, and Rick will be.
Contract, we got to get it approved by the
Come up to the microphone, please, Mr. Babin. I'm sorry. Yeah, you want to be the star now. You got to come up to the mic.
we have looked at it. We've approved it. It's got to be approved by the Attorney General, and there's some issues we need to work on. A lot of this stuff has to come back to you for your approval through ordinances and through subsequent work. So we're going to need to approve some of the output by this attorney to bring back to you, but we'll work that outside of his contract. The contract's fine, subject to Attorney General approval.
And that was your motion, was subject to Attorney General approval?
Sure was.
Mr. Savoy.
Yeah, Mr. Throckmorton.
Yes.
Because I just received that, we hadn't had opportunity to read through it real
Sure.
quick, which I'll take it home and read it. But real quick, as far as the $1,500 per month, what are we looking at getting for $1,500 a month?
Well, first of all, his objective, if you look at his objectives, what he works for Mr. Larry Book. He's an assistant DA out of East Baton Rouge, and he does that full time for Mr. Larry Book out of East Baton Rouge Parish, and he will be setting up help us set up a system so we can sell the adjudicate property just as East Baton Rouge Parish does it. And the scope of work that takes place. It takes about 13, 14 steps to do a adjudicate property. It takes about 5 to 6 months once this adjudicate property gets started in the system for this property to be sold at an auction. So it takes lots of steps for this to take place.
So, but what you're asking for is to bring him on to set someone from inside the parish to move forward with adjudicate
Yes.
property?
Mm-hmm. He'll be assisting us in making sure we do everything right on the adjudicate property.
And set us up for
Yes.
us to be the ones to start?
But he'll be doing it. He'll be running our auctions. And once a person bid on a piece of property that we have an auction on, he'll be running our auctions to make sure that we get in the paper at the right time, make sure everyone's contacted. It takes a little process to sell a piece of adjudicate property.
Okay, that's all I have. If I have any more, I'll
Well,
give
you
you a
please call me, look over it. Mr. Humphrey, he'll be happy. We might have him come over, and y'all might be able to talk with him about it one time. It is Finance Committee if you want us to. And
I believe he has, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Humphrey has addressed the Finance Committee in the past. At that time, we did not have a contract written up and approved by legal, and now we do. So I believe most of you have had the opportunity to meet Mr. Humphrey. He certainly has addressed the Strategic Planning Committee, and it was recommended that it come here. Richard, the $1,500 a month fee, I mean, you and I had discussed that and how it's probably going to kind of lessen as time goes on. We're not looking at really at this is a top number. This is a high figure that we're looking at.
Right.
Yes,
it is.
I just want to say that I know that we had at least one person from Ascension Parish that applied for the job, and I just want to make sure that we did give, good information around the parish, to get people that live here.
We had 5 people sending in resumes for this position, and we interviewed. This was a long time ago. We interviewed them, and we interviewed everyone. No one really had anything to do with adjudicate property. They had title. They've done title searches, things like this. But Troy was the only one that actually does adjudicate properties. And we want to get to a quick start on this, so when we do start this program, that we can go ahead and get these properties back in circulation.
Right. I just want to make sure that we cleared that, because I wouldn't want somebody to come ask us. We've had some other problems with some other stuff, and I just want to make sure we cleared that.
Yeah, we did.
yes, we did.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is there any other discussion? Is there any opposition to the motion? Then the motion passes. Ms. Suzanne, would you please put that on the agenda for the next council meeting next week for approval?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you for all your work. I know this has been a long and arduous task of yours, and we're trying to get some of these properties cleaned up, and I appreciate the work that you've put in. Thank you. Item number 8 is a contract renewal for the Capital Area Legal Services Corporation. I don't see Mr. Wayne in the audience. We're going to pass on that for right now. If Mr. Wayne does come in, we'll consider this. Otherwise, we'll put it on the agenda for the next Finance Committee meeting.
Excuse me, Martin.
Yes, sir, Mr. Thompson?
Mr. LeBlanc, is this a contract renewal?
Yes.
It's something that we does every year, right?
We've been doing it for, quite a few years. Let me ask. We haven't changed it. We contacted him come, but we couldn't get in touch with him. We got in touch with the office. And we contacted contacted Mr. Wayne's office, and we haven't got back with him. He hasn't got back with us yet, so we don't know if he has any changes to recommend, is the issue.
Your question is correct, Mr. Thompson. Ordinarily, this is a cut and dry renewal. We do the same thing every year, but we do like to extend the courtesy to Mr. Wayne if there's any changes or additions, deletions, so forth that he likes to make in that contract. And if we don't deal with it tonight, we're not in danger of lessening any of those services to the people.
We'll bring it back in January. He usually gives his annual report at the same time.
Thank you.
Okay, so if Mr. Wayne and Ms. Gwynn, if you would please, if Mr. Wayne comes in and I don't notice him, would you please point that out to us? Otherwise, because we will deal with him if he's able to make it. All right, and since you're there, thank you very much. How opportune. Item number 9 is the Finance Department report, Sales and Use Tax report. Gwen LeBlanc, CFO, Treasurer.
Yes, thank you, and good evening, members of the Finance Committee, President Hughes. We have our regular sales tax report before you, and as usual, we report on our 3 sales tax districts. East Ascension Drainage has a ½ cent. Sales and Use Tax District number 1 has a 1%, and Sales and Use Tax District number 2, which funds 1/3 to fire protection services and 2/3 to roads, has also a ½ cent. Drainage includes all of the east side of the river, including the municipalities, and the 2 other sales tax districts are rural sales tax districts, basically outside the municipalities of all 3 of the municipalities in the parish. In that second column, you can see where our sales taxes are still up. Year to date, they're all kind of leveling off at a little bit over 20%, and the ½ cent almost 22%. As far as the sectors where we're feeling this sales tax coming in, retail actually decreased 1.4%, just a little over 1% from 05. And the plants increased year-to-date by 47.5% over 05. Now, there was a one-time purchase by a chemical plant that upped that percent. Business and industrial suppliers, they decreased year-to-date by 22%, and the contractors increased year-to-date by 260%. And motor vehicles is on the increase by 16%. So year-to-date, that's kind of a feel for where we are on our sales taxes and where the sales taxes are being collected within the parish. The audits, and just for the month of November, which represents October sales, our 3 districts collected approximately $105,000 from audits. And the second page is the bar charts, just to show you that where we are right now. The right-hand red chart is November year-to-date comparisons with 05, and the blue color at 05 represents the remainder of the year. We're comparing just November's collections to November collections. And you can see how our sales taxes have increased throughout the year compared to 05. And then the last chart is a historical chart, just for your review. You can see from 96 to 2006 to date how our sales taxes have fared. And you can see they're all very familiar. And consistent with each other. And that's the sales tax report.
And we are so close to 2001.
Yeah.
We're so close. The highest tax collection year
ever in the parish. Yeah, we'll exceed that one that year.
Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Gwynn?
Okay. If not, thank you. And before you have your monthly report. If you want to look at it, if you have any questions, be sure to call Amanda or myself, and we'll be glad to answer any questions you have. We usually don't go into that except quarterly.
We generally go into it quarterly. Is there anything that you want to point out to us? I've kind of skimmed through it, and I haven't seen anything really out of line. Is there something that maybe needs to be pointed out, Gwen, Amanda?
Our year is going fine. We've completed our budget. We have before you the adopted budget. That's the final budget as adopted by the Parish Council for 2007, and it includes all the amendments that you made prior to adoption.
Yeah.
So we have that.
this document, the big thick one that's right there in front of you, and that's all bound. So you see, this is the one that says adopted. Please take the one that says draft on it and throw it away. Do yourself a favor and throw it away, because it's no good anymore. This is the one that we'll be living by for 2007. Please take that and keep that by your bedside for handy reading.
And if you have any questions, as usual, just call, finance, and we'll be glad to help you in any way we can. And also, the 2006 audit, the auditors are in this week, so we've already started our preliminary audit work with our auditors.
Terrific. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Are there any other questions? Thank you, Gwen. Thank you very much. Thank you and your department for all of the great work that you do. Item number 10, we have a series of contract renewals. Ms. Sandra Pereira, our paralegal, will present them. And then, Ms. Sandra, I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, if you would just read each of them one by one. Let us know what we're considering. But otherwise, we're going to consider this like a consent agenda. If somebody has something specific they would like to discuss, we'll pull it out of there. Otherwise, these are renewals, and we can consider them all at once rather than voting on each one of them individually.
As usual, I'll give you the packets, and they're not exactly like on the agenda, if you see each one. So I grouped together the task order renewal contracts, the renewal task order contracts, and Mr. Bill Rue will go over that with you.
Okay, what I like to do is take, and it can be out of order with what's on the agenda, for DPW. Because the bulk of all the contract renewals, task order or task order type contracts is with DPW. So I'm going to go through it because I want to make it clear. I want to put in the record what exactly we're hiring these engineering firms or professional services for. GSA Incorporated, General Engineering, Professional Engineering Consultants, PEC, General Engineering.
Hold up, which one you on, Mr. Russo, so we can check off?
Okay.
If you look in your packet,
it's a different list.
They're grouped together in these 4 different groups, and these are task orders that you're discussing right now.
Yeah.
They're not exactly in the order A through R.
It should be your top.
It's the top one, the thickest item.
Right.
In that packet before you.
And this is exactly what we want to try to go by. So when we renew the contract, it's as per these services that we're recommending to the council to adopt or to authorize. So again, it's Fortin de Blada, General Engineering and Surveying, SJB, General Engineering, Surveying and Right-of-Way Acquisitions, Burt Klein Peter, General Engineering, Camp Dress and McGee, General Engineering, BFM, Surveying, Professional Services Industries, PSI, Geotechnical Engineering, Capizzoli and Associates, Geotechnical, Soil Testing Engineers, Geotechnical, Citywide Testing, Soil and Materials Testing, Delta Testing, Soil and Materials Testing, Louisiana Testing Inspection, Soil and Materials Testing, law firm of Middleburg, Riddle, and Guyana, which is Deborah Morris, legal services for right-of-way titles, River Parish appraisers for right-of-way appraising, and Ascension Title Services for right-of-way title services. So we're asking that the council recommend that we give or authorize us to give task order contracts as per these services to these engineering firms.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Adrian Thompson, second by Mr. Oliver Joseph, to adopt the renewal of these task order contracts as presented to you. And those are items 1 through 16. They're not exactly as per the agenda then. Are there any questions? Is there any discussion? Is there any opposition? Then the motion passes. Ms. Suzanne, please put these task order contract renewals in the agenda. And let's go ahead and leave them in this order so that they're easier to consider in that way. Okay?
The next one is 10B on the agenda, and you should have a little packet. And that's also a renewal contract for medical services with Dr. Stephen Holmes for the inmates at the Parish Jail.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Todd Lambert.
Second.
I'm sorry, there's a motion by Mr. George Valentine, second by Mr. Todd Lambert to renew the contract for Dr. Stephen Holmes. Is there any discussion? Is there any opposition? The motion passes. Ms. Suzanne, please put that on the agenda.
And the next one is 10C on the agenda, and that's the automated fleet fuel system and supplier contract with Roland J. Robert. It's also a renewal.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Oliver Joseph, second by Mr. Dempsey Lambert to renew the contract with Roland J. Robert Distributors Incorporated. Is there any discussion? Is there any opposition? Then that motion passes. Ms. Suzanne, please put that on the agenda for the next council meeting.
The next one's 10N on the agenda, and that's an externship agreement with Homeland Security and LSU. It's funded through the grant, State Homeland Security Program grant, and it's a renewal.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Adrian Thompson, second by Mr. Todd Lambert to renew this contract between Ascension Parish and Homeland Security for an externship through LSU. Is there any discussion? Is there any opposition? Then that motion passes. Ms. Suzanne, would you please put that one on the agenda?
And that's all of 10.
Those are all of them. Thank you, Ms. Sandra. We try to make life easy when we can. Life is hard enough as it is, isn't it? Okay. Then item number 11, believe it or not, is the proposed agenda for the regular council meeting of Thursday, December 1st, 2006. It's in your packet. Please take a moment to peruse that and see, are there any items that you may want to address tonight? Are there items that you want to add to this agenda, particularly those of you who are chairs of your respective committees? Are those committee agenda items correct that were going to be presented? Last council meeting of the year, so we want to make sure we get all of our business in before the close of the year.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dempsey Lambert.
I'd like to hear from our legal on the burn ordinance and the drainage ordinance. Are we clear on these two items?
The burn ordinance, we have submitted it, and I have not received any suggested changes from anyone. I did receive, on the drainage ordinance, I did receive from information from Councilwoman Fontenot and Councilman Valentine asking me to verify that some changes were made. I believe the changes that they suggested are in there, but to be candid with you, I need to double check line for line and make sure the language is identical. So 2 councilmen have asked, but as far as I understand, everything on both of them are proper. No one's made any suggested changes to the burn ordinance, so if you need any, let me know. I'd like to bring a clean copy to the council meeting.
Then Mr. Babin, my question to you is this. These are appearing on the agenda, not under the regular introduction of ordinances. They're appearing under the report of the Strategic Planning Committee. So are we in order introducing them now as ordinances, or should we accept... Would we be in better order to accept the report of the Strategic Planning Committee and then come back and introduce it as an ordinance? I don't want to delay things if it's unnecessary, but it's really coming to us as a report of strategic planning, not as an introduction.
Well, that's all that's before you is a report to strategic planning. So you could accept that report
because
on that meeting day.
Even though it's not grouped under the introduction of ordinances, it is listed on our agenda as the introduction of an ordinance. And so my question is, and I just want to make sure that we do this according to Hoyle, are we going to adopt the report of strategic planning, or are we going to introduce an ordinance?
Mr. Chairman, should we put review of drainage ordinance?
Yeah.
It's up to you. If your intent is simply to receive the report and study it,
but because what's going,
then leave it as a report only. If you intend to introduce it,
can we do that, please? Because what's going to happen if we in fact review it, then 2 weeks later, in the first meeting of January, it's going to come to us as a public hearing. Right. So I would think that we would want to change the verbiage in this to show that it is just a recommendation. Can we just say that it's a recommendation of strategic planning and we can review it in that way? Because I think these still need a little bit of, I think most of the council members have never had a chance to discuss this, right? Have never had a chance to look at it. Burn ordinance hadn't come through.
they would have to amend their agenda to add it as an introduction. If you're going to introduce an ordinance, the agenda needs to say introduction of ordinance, and it needs to be in written form in the format you want to adopt it. Where we got in the ditch last time was
then I believe
it's the night of the meeting that we were introducing it, and that's what got confusing.
Sometimes when we get in our biggest trouble, it's because of just nuances of language, and I really believe that this should come as a recommendation of strategic planning rather than an introduction to an ordinance. Mr. Savoy.
I sat in on the strategic planning meeting earlier this week, and what came out of the committee was to send it to the full council for your consideration, meaning you haven't seen the final document, so we wanted to send it to the full council so you could have a copy of the final document, mull over it, read over it, review it, and then come back, versus calling it for a public hearing and going through the holidays and then coming on the first of the year, and it would be
my point
chaos.
exactly.
So it was come out of committee for to send it to you as a recommendation.
Then it needs to say that on the agenda. Recommendation from committee.
Yeah.
And then you can study it and put it back on whichever one you choose to, whenever you choose to, put it back on your agenda as an introduction, as a separate meeting.
Otherwise, that's a heck of a lot of pressure over the holidays to be reviewing this stuff.
Well, I just would not like, it's a very complicated ordinance, that drainage ordinance. It's very important to all of you. I would really not like to have changes the night of the meeting. I'd like to have at least a clean copy to start with before we get into the debate.
Yeah, we kind of been there before. We know what that's like, don't we? Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you for bringing that up. Does anyone else have anything? Okay, then we're going to go with that. Then we're going to go into item number 12, which is, this is something we do every year, election of chairman and vice chairman of the Finance Committee for the year 2007. And I'll consider the floor open for nominations for chairman.
Nominate Jared Barrett.
Nomination of Mr. Jared Byriger for chairman of the Finance Committee. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations?
I move the nomination be closed.
Floor is closed to nominations. I guess, Ms. Babin, help me out. Do we elect him by acclamation?
You just elected him by acclamation.
We just elected Mr. Byriger by acclamation. Congratulations to Mr. Byriger. When you deliver those condolences, would you please deliver the congratulations as well? We'll now open the floor for nominations for vice chairman of the Finance Committee. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Ms. Cheryl Fontenot.
Nomination for Ms. Cheryl Fontenot. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations?
I'll move their nomination be closed.
The floor is then now closed to nominations. Congratulations, Ms. Fontenot. You are elected by acclamation, and for 2007, you are the vice chairman of the Ascension Parish Finance Committee. In the absence of Mr. Byriger, item number 13, Mr. Thompson, you look good.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas, one and all.